Clovis points are among the most iconic artifacts in all of North American archaeology. They are fluted projectile points that were found at the site of Clovis, New Mexico in 1932, and for decades they were thought to be the oldest undisputed evidence of human habitation on the continent. However, there have been many discoveries since then that have made us question whether or not Clovis was truly the first culture to inhabit North America. Is it possible that the people who created these beautiful works of art had predecessors? Or could they even be the remnants of a lost civilization older than the Egyptians? What if they weren't just simple tools, but rather evidence of an advanced prehistoric culture with knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and engineering? Join me today as we explore the secrets of the Clovis culture. When archaeologists unearthed the first Clovis point, they didn't realize just how significant it really was. At the time, it was simply seen as a unique type of spearhead that had been used by prehistoric hunters. It wasn't until much later that researchers began to understand that this particular style of projectile point represented a much larger culture. The Clovis culture is named after the town of Clovis, New Mexico, where these points were originally discovered in the 1930s. These early inhabitants of North America are believed to have lived from around 13,090 to 12,900 years ago. That would make them the earliest known inhabitants of the continent, which raises some very interesting questions. One of the most common theories is that the Clovis people were nomadic hunter-gatherers. This means that they moved from place to place, following the herds of animals that they hunted. There is evidence to suggest that they may have also gathered wild plants and fruits as part of their diet. However, recent studies have shown that the Clovis culture was more complex than previously thought. For example, researchers have discovered that the Clovis people built large structures made of wood and that they may have had a sophisticated understanding of the land they inhabited. But perhaps the most shocking discovery is that the Clovis culture thrived for hundreds of years before disappearing suddenly and mysteriously. But what really happened to them? One theory is that the Clovis people were wiped out by a massive natural disaster, such as a flood or a volcanic eruption. There is evidence to suggest that the Younger Dryas impact event, which occurred around 12,900 years ago, may have been responsible for the extinction of the Clovis culture. This event is believed to have caused widespread wildfires and a rapid climate change, which would have devastated the Clovis way of life. Another theory is that the Clovis people were wiped out by a pandemic disease. Researchers have found evidence of a mysterious illness that may have killed off a significant portion of the Clovis population. This disease is thought to have been brought to North America by humans migrating from Asia, and it would have devastated the Clovis people who had no immunity to it. Now let's move on to another fascinating aspect of the Clovis culture: their tools and weapons. The Clovis culture is known for creating some of the most advanced tools and weapons of their time, including the Clovis point, which is a type of fluted projectile point that was used for hunting. Clovis points are expertly crafted and incredibly sharp, which makes them ideal for hunting large game. These points were typically made from high-quality materials such as obsidian and chert, and they were so well made that they could be reused multiple times. In addition to their hunting skills, the Clovis people were also skilled engineers and builders. They constructed large structures made of wood that may have been used for religious ceremonies or as homes during the winter months. Overall, the tools and weapons of the Clovis culture are a testament to their skill and ingenuity, and they continue to fascinate archaeologists and historians today. Another interesting aspect of the Clovis culture is their art and symbolism. Although the Clovis people were primarily known for their tools and weapons, they also created some beautiful works of art. Their artifacts often contain intricate patterns and designs that may have had religious or spiritual significance. For example, the famous bird-headed man effigy found at the Blackwater Draw site in New Mexico is a remarkable piece of art that depicts a human figure with the head of a bird. This sculpture is thought to represent a shaman or a spiritual leader, and it may have been used in religious ceremonies. While the Clovis people may not have left behind any written records, their art and symbols offer a glimpse into their culture and beliefs. By studying their artifacts, researchers can learn more about their worldview and the values that they held dear. Now let's talk about one of the most important archaeological sites associated with the Clovis culture, Blackwater Draw. Located in southeastern New Mexico, this site was occupied by the Clovis people for several hundred years. It contains a variety of structures, including the famous bird-headed man effigy that I mentioned earlier. In addition to its religious significance, the Blackwater Draw site also contained a large storage facility that suggests the Clovis people were skilled farmers. This challenges the traditional view of the Clovis culture as nomadic hunter-gatherers and provides evidence that they had a more complex society than previously thought. As we continue to learn more about the Clovis culture, it's important to note that there is still much that we don't know. Many of our current theories and ideas are based on limited evidence, and it's possible that future discoveries will change our understanding of this mysterious civilization. For example, researchers are still trying to determine the exact timeline of the Clovis culture and the reasons for its ultimate demise. There is also much debate over whether or not the Clovis people were the first inhabitants of North America or if they had predecessors. While the Clovis culture is one of the most well-known prehistoric cultures in North America, there are other ancient sites that are just as fascinating. For example, the Monteverde site in Chile contains evidence of human occupation dating back over 4,500 years. This site is home to a variety of artifacts, including stone tools, animal bones, and plant remains, which provide insights into the daily life of the people who lived there. In North America, the Cactus Hill site in Virginia contains artifacts from various prehistoric cultures, including the Clovis culture. These artifacts include stone tools, pottery, and burial goods, which help researchers understand the cultural development of this region. The discovery of the Cactus Hill site is particularly interesting because it provides evidence of the Clovis culture living in the eastern United States. This challenges the traditional view that the Clovis culture was only found in the western United States and Mexico. It also suggests that the Clovis people were more widespread and adaptable than previously thought. As we conclude our exploration of the Clovis culture, it's important to remember that these people were real individuals who lived, loved, and died in the ancient world. While we may never fully understand their culture and traditions, we can appreciate the beauty of their artwork and the complexity of their society. The Clovis people may have disappeared from the historical record, but their legacy lives on in the artifacts they left behind and in the stories they inspire in modern times. If you enjoyed learning about the Clovis culture, I encourage you to stay tuned for more videos on prehistoric cultures. There are so many fascinating civilizations from around the world that have been lost to time, and it's my goal to bring them to life through my videos. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy learning. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the Clovis culture, it's important to consider the evidence for and against the idea that they were the first inhabitants of North America. Some researchers argue that the Clovis culture did predate other cultures in North America, while others believe that they arrived on the continent later. The theory that the Clovis culture was the first in North America is supported by the fact that Clovis points have been found at numerous sites across the continent that date back to around 13,000 years ago. Additionally, the Clovis culture appears to have been widespread, with sites found from Alaska to Mexico. This suggests that the Clovis people were able to adapt to a variety of environments and that they had the ability to travel long distances. However, the idea that the Clovis culture was the first in North America is challenged by the lack of evidence for a continuous occupation of the continent. There are some sites that contain artifacts that predate the Clovis culture, but these sites are relatively few and far between. Additionally, the Clovis culture appears to have disappeared around 12,900 years ago, which leaves a gap of several thousand years before the next known culture emerged. This suggests that there may have been other cultures that lived in North America before the Clovis culture, but their evidence has been lost to time. Overall, the question of whether or not the Clovis culture was the first in North America remains a mystery. There is evidence to support both sides of the argument, and it's possible that we may never know for sure. However, as new discoveries are made, we continue to learn more about the history of human habitation in North America, and it's possible that one day we will uncover the truth about the Clovis culture and their place in history. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so you never miss an exciting episode. We've explored the fascinating world of the Clovis culture and uncovered their secrets, one artifact at a time. What are your thoughts on the Clovis culture? Do you believe they were the first inhabitants of North America, or was there a lost civilization before them? Share your thoughts below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more thrilling journeys through time. Until next time, keep exploring the past